The gleaming spires of New Aurora colony pierced the purple sky of Kepler 186, humanity's most distant outpost. 9-year-old Zara Patel stood at the observation deck of her family's research station, her dark eyes reflecting the binary stars that illuminated their adopted world. Her fingers traced equations on the foggy glass, a habit that earned her the nickname Little Einstein among the colony's scientists. Today marked the annual Stellar Festival, when the colony's biodomes transformed into a carnival of lights and sounds. Merchants from across known space gathered to trade exotic goods and share stories of distant worlds. Zara's parents, leading xenobiologists, were presenting their latest research, leaving her free to explore the festival under the watchful eye of security drones. The festival's atmosphere crackled with energy as holographic displays painted the air with shimmering advertisements in a dozen alien languages. Zara clutched her prized possession, a quantum puzzle cube that responded to brainwaves as she wandered through the crowds. Various alien species towered over her: the crystalline Lumini, the four-armed Quattra-traders, and even a rare mechanoid diplomat. No one noticed the dark ships entering the atmosphere until it was too late. The Drachnids struck without warning. Their obsidian vessels, shaped like predatory birds, descended through the colony's defensive shields as if they weren't there. Panic erupted as the raiders, towering reptilians with cybernetic enhancements, began their methodical harvest of entertainment assets. Zara ran, her small feet pounding against the metal walkways. She'd heard whispered stories about the Drachnids, how they operated the most brutal entertainment venues in the galaxy, forcing captured beings to fight for survival. The security drones fell quickly to the raiders' advanced weaponry, sparking and crashing around her as she ducked into a maintenance tunnel. Her heart thundered in her chest as she crawled through the narrow space, trying to remember the station's layout. She'd memorized every blueprint, every vent system, a habit born from countless hours exploring while her parents worked. But knowledge couldn't stop the stun beam that caught her as she emerged near the emergency pods. A young human, a gravelly voice observed as Zara's world began to fade. Perfect. The audience loves watching hope die in the young ones. She awoke in darkness, the hum of hyperdrive engines vibrating through her bones. The quantum cube was still clutched in her hands. The raiders hadn't recognized its value. Around her, other captives whimpered and whispered in various languages. Through her neural translator, she caught fragments of prayers and desperate plans. The journey lasted 3 days, marked only by the automated delivery of nutrient paste and recycled water. Zara spent the time solving her cube, each configuration more complex than the last, trying to keep the fear at bay. She knew her parents would be searching for her, but the galaxy was vast, and the Drachnids were experts at covering their tracks. Finally, the ship shuddered to a stop. The cell door opened, flooding the space with harsh red light. A Drachnid guard, his scales gleaming with metallic implants, gestured with a neural whip. "Move, entertainment units. Welcome to the Crimson Arena." They were herded through corridors that seemed to pulse with an organic energy. The walls were lined with force field cells containing creatures Zara had only seen in forbidden database entries, beasts of legend that the galaxy's authorities denied still existed. But nothing prepared her for what awaited in the central arena. Through a massive viewing window, Zara saw it. Neurox, the star beast. A creature of living energy and crystalline armor, said to be the last of its kind. Its form shifted between solid and plasma, 4 legs rippling like solar flares. A mane of pure starlight surrounded a face that seemed carved from ancient nebulae. The Drachnid announcer's voice boomed through hidden speakers. tonight's special presentation, Innocence Meets Infinity. Watch as a human child faces the legendary Neurox. Will her quantum intelligence save her, or will she become another tale of cosmic tragedy? Zara's quantum cube pulsed warmly in her hands as she was pushed toward the arena entrance. In that moment, she realized why it had been reacting strangely during the journey. It wasn't just a puzzle toy. It was something far more ancient, far more powerful. As the gates began to open, Zara held the cube tighter, its glow intensifying. She wouldn't face Neurox as prey. She would face it as something else entirely, perhaps as the key to both their salvations. The crowd roared as she stepped into the arena, their bloodlust palpable. But Zara's fear had transformed into something else: determination. Her mind raced with calculations, possibilities, and the growing sense that this encounter would change not just her fate, but the fate of beings across the galaxy. The gates on the opposite side of the arena began to rise, and the air itself seemed to hold its breath. A hush fell over the arena as Neurox emerged, each step leaving traces of stellar energy that sparkled against the metallic floor. The creature's size defied comprehension. It stood as tall as a small spacecraft, its crystalline armor refracting the harsh arena lights into rainbow cascades. But it was the eyes that captured Zara's attention, swirling vortexes of cosmic dust that held ancient wisdom. The quantum cube in Zara's hands pulsed with increasing intensity, matching the rhythm of Neurox's shifting form. The crowd's bloodthirsty cheers faded to a distant rumble as something extraordinary began to unfold. In her mind, Zara felt a presence, vast and ancient, like staring into the heart of a galaxy. "You hold the key of the astral ones." A voice resonated in her thoughts, both thunderous and gentle. "No coincidence brings you here, young mathematician." Zara's eyes widened. The cube wasn't just responding to her brainwaves, it was translating them, creating a bridge between her consciousness and Neurox's cosmic awareness. She held the cube higher, its light now forming intricate geometric patterns in the air between them. "I didn't know," she thought back, her mind racing with possibilities. The cube, it was a gift from a traveling merchant. He said it would find its way home. The Drachnid announcer's voice boomed through the arena. "What's this? The human child dares to stand against our mighty beast. Let's see how long her courage lasts." But Neurox made no move to attack. Instead, the creature's form shimmered, its crystalline plates adjusting to create a protective dome around Zara. The crowd's excitement turned to confusion, then anger. This wasn't the blood sport they had paid to witness. In the VIP observation box, Supreme Commander Varax slammed his cybernetic fist against the control panel. Impossible. Neurox has never refused to fight. Activate the neural stimulators. Force it to attack. Electrical pulses surged through the arena floor, designed to trigger aggressive responses in even the most docile creatures. But as the energy reached them, Zara's cube absorbed it, transforming the harmful frequencies into pure light that danced between her and Neurox like Aurora Borealis. "They have controlled me through pain." Neurox's thoughts flowed into Zara's mind. "But your presence awakens ancient protocols. The key was meant to unite our species before the great darkness scattered us across the stars." Understanding bloomed in Zara's mind. Her gift for mathematics wasn't just academic. She had been unknowingly solving equations that were part of a universal language, one that bridged the gap between human consciousness and cosmic entities like Neurox. The crowd's mood began to shift as they witnessed the impossible dialogue between child and beast. Some stood in awe, while others demanded refunds. Among them, a group of hooded figures watched intently, Their hidden tech scanning the energy patterns forming between Zara and Neurox. The child's brainwave patterns are exactly what we've been waiting for, one whispered into a concealed communicator. The Resistance may finally have its catalyst. Commander Varax wasn't about to let his premier attraction be transformed into a peace demonstration. "Release the hunter drones," he commanded, his reptilian features contorted with rage. "If the beast won't kill her, we'll provide alternative entertainment." Panels opened in the arena walls, releasing sleek, deadly machines programmed for one purpose: elimination. Their plasma weapons charged with an ominous hum as they surrounded Zara and Neurox. But something had fundamentally changed. As the drones attacked, Zara's mathematical mind merged with Neurox's cosmic power. The quantum cube expanded its field, creating complex geometric shields that deflected the plasma bolts. Each failed attack only strengthened their connection. "Your calculations. They match the eternal patterns," Neurox observed as they moved in perfect synchronization. "We can show them a better path, young one, if you are willing." Zara nodded, her fear completely replaced by determination. She began manipulating the cube's configurations faster than ever before, each solution creating new patterns of light and energy. The drones' attacks became part of their equation, their energy absorbed and redirected into a spectacular display of mathematical art. In the stands, the Kudit figures began to move. Their time had come. The Resistance had waited generations for proof that humans and cosmic beings could truly unite. Now they had their evidence and their heroes. Commander Varax recognized too late what was happening. "Lock down the arena. No one leaves until that child and the beast are destroyed. The Drachnid entertainment empire will not be undermined by a girl with a toy." But as alarms blared and security forces mobilized, Zara and Neurox had already begun the next phase of their cosmic equation. The quantum cube's light expanded, forming patterns that seemed to fold space itself. They weren't just defending anymore. They were rewriting the rules of the game entirely. The revolution had begun, sparked by the unlikely bond between a child who spoke the language of mathematics and a creature born from the very stuff of stars. As chaos erupted in the arena, one thing became clear. The Drachnid's reign of cruel entertainment was about to face its greatest challenge yet. And somewhere in the darkness of space, aboard a research vessel racing toward the arena's coordinates, Zara's parents watched the leaked footage of their daughter's transformation with tears of pride. Their little Einstein wasn't just solving equations anymore. She was solving the galaxy's oldest conflict, one quantum calculation at a time. As chaos erupted throughout the Crimson Arena, the Kudid figures revealed themselves. Members of the Celestial Liberation Front, CLF, an underground movement dedicated to freeing enslaved cosmic entities. Their stealth shields dropped, revealing advanced armor that pulsed with the same quantum frequencies as Zara's cube. "Now," shouted Commander Varax, his cybernetic eye glowing crimson, "release all combat specimens. Let's see how they handle multiple cosmic entities." The arena's peripheral gates groaned open, releasing dozens of captured beings, each one a unique fusion of energy and matter. But instead of attacking, these creatures paused, their ancient consciousness responding to the mathematical harmonies flowing from Zara and Neurox's bond. They remember, Neurox's thoughts resonated in Zara's mind. The key awakens ancestral memories. We were never meant to fight each other. Zara's fingers danced across the quantum cube's surface, her prodigy-level mind interpreting complex patterns that had baffled scientists for centuries. Each calculation created new connections, linking the consciousness of every cosmic being in the arena. The cube wasn't just a key. It was a conductor's baton, orchestrating a symphony of united minds. In the VIP box, Commander Varax grabbed his neural whip. "If you want something done right," he snarled, leaping down into the arena. His cybernetic enhancements crackled with deadly energy as he charged towards Zara. But he never reached her. The liberated cosmic entities moved as one, forming a living barrier of light and energy. Among them, a young plasma wraith named Luminist floated forward. Once forced to fight for the Drachnid's entertainment, now it danced with newfound purpose, its ethereal form resonating with Zara's calculations. The child speaks the first language. Luminist communicated to the other beings. The language of creation itself, mathematics. The CLF agents moved swiftly through the arena, disabling security systems and freeing more captives. Their leader, Admiral Thora, a battle-scared Andromean with silicon-based skin, approached Zara with reverence. "We've waited generations for this moment," Thora said, her crystalline voice filled with emotion. The prophecies spoke of a young one who would bridge the gap between organic and cosmic life. We never imagined it would be a human child. The arena's audience, once bloodthirsty for violence, now watched in stunned silence as something profound unfolded before them. The quantum patterns Zara created filled the space with dancing lights, telling stories of ancient harmony between all species. But Commander Varax wasn't finished. He activated his final failsafe, a quantum destabilizer designed to tear apart the very fabric of space-time within the arena. "If I can't have my entertainment empire," he roared, "no one will have anything." The air began to crackle with dangerous energy as reality itself started to unravel. Regular matter began to distort, and even the cosmic entities showed signs of distress. But Zara remained calm, her mind already racing through the calculations needed to counter this new threat. "Neurox," she thought, "the cube shows patterns within patterns. If we combine your cosmic energy with my calculations—" "Yes," the Star Beast responded, understanding immediately. "All of us together, a unified equation." What happened next would be talked about for centuries across the galaxy. Zara raised the quantum cube high, its light pulsing in perfect synchronization with her heartbeat. Every cosmic entity in the arena contributed their energy, following the mathematical framework she created. The destabilizing effect began to reverse, but they didn't stop there. The combined power of their unified consciousness began to transform the arena itself. The cold metal walls sprouted crystalline formations that hummed with harmonic energy. The harsh artificial lights were replaced by the gentle glow of controlled stellar phenomena. Commander Varax watched in horror as his weapon of destruction became a tool of creation. The quantum destabilizer's energy was redirected, flowing through Zara's calculations to heal rather than harm. The very architecture of the arena shifted, turning from a place of torment into a nexus of interspecies cooperation. Admiral Thora's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "The cosmic convergence," she whispered, "just as the ancient texts ascribed. But this is only the beginning, isn't it?" Zara nodded, still maintaining the complex calculations that kept their newfound harmony in balance. Through her connection with Neurox and the other cosmic entities, she could sense similar arenas across the galaxy, all places of suffering that could be transformed. The remaining Drachnid guards threw down their weapons, some falling to their knees in awe. The audience members who had come seeking violent entertainment found themselves part of something far more significant, the birth of a new era of galactic cooperation. But in the shadows of the transformed arena, a single communication beacon pulsed quietly, sending encrypted data to distant coordinates. Someone else had been watching, someone who saw in this miraculous convergence not an opportunity for peace, but a weapon waiting to be controlled. The Uprising had succeeded beyond anyone's expectations, but Zara's challenges were far from over. As she stood amid the swirling energies of unified cosmic consciousness, she knew this was just the first movement in a much larger symphony of change. Word of the Crimson Arena's transformation spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The quantum frequencies generated by Zara's calculations created ripples in space-time that other cosmic entities could sense. But it also attracted the attention of the Galactic Dominion's most secretive organization, the Department of Transcendent Technologies, DTT. Admiral Kresh of the DTT watched the holographic recordings with cold calculation. His cybernetically enhanced brain processed the patterns Zara had created, seeing not beauty but potential weapons. "Prepare the quantum dampeners," he commanded his fleet. "The girl and her creatures will be acquired." Back at the transformed arena, now renamed the Convergence Sanctuary, Zara worked tirelessly with Neurox and the other cosmic entities. Each day brought new discoveries as she learned to combine mathematics with cosmic energy in ways that could heal damaged worlds. But their peace was short-lived. The DTT's stealth ships emerged from hyperspace, surrounding the sanctuary with a web of quantum-dampening fields. Admiral Kresh's voice boomed through all communication channels. "In the name of galactic security, surrender the human child and all quantum-enabled devices." Zara felt the dampening field trying to suppress her connection with Neurox and the others. But what the DTT didn't understand was that the bond had evolved beyond mere quantum mechanics. The mathematics of creation itself flowed through their unified consciousness. They cannot comprehend. Neurox communicated to all beings in the sanctuary. That which is born of love and understanding cannot be contained by force. As DTT troops breached the sanctuary's outer defenses, Zara began her most complex calculation yet. The quantum cube pulsed with unprecedented power as she wove equations that described not just space and time, but the very nature of consciousness itself. The final battle for the future of galactic harmony had begun, but it wasn't fought with weapons or ships. Instead, Zara and her cosmic allies created something entirely new, a mathematical proof of unity that could be understood by any conscious being. The patterns flowing from her quantum cube reached out to the DTT soldiers themselves, showing them visions of a universe where technology and cosmic power worked in harmony rather than opposition. Many dropped their weapons, overwhelmed by the beauty of what they witnessed. Admiral Kresh, however, pushed forward, his cybernetic systems trying to block the influence of Zara's calculations. "You cannot stop progress," he snarled. "The Dominion will have this power." But as he reached for Zara, something extraordinary happened. The quantum cube's light enveloped him, and for the first time, his enhanced mind saw the full truth. The mathematics Zara worked with weren't just equations. They were the underlying language of love itself, expressed through numbers and energy. The Admiral fell to his knees, his cybernetic implants recalibrating as decades of military conditioning gave way to understanding. The weapons he had brought to bear against them transformed, their quantum dampeners becoming amplifiers for the harmony Zara had discovered. As the dust settled, representatives from across the galaxy gathered at the Convergence Sanctuary. The Galactic Council, faced with irrefutable proof of a better way, passed the Cosmic Rights Accord, ensuring that never again would cosmic entities be enslaved for entertainment or weapons. Zara's parents, finally reunited with their daughter, helped establish the first Quantum Harmony Academy, where gifted children from all species could learn to bridge the gap between organic and cosmic life. The former arena became its central campus, with Neurox, as one of its most beloved teachers. Years later, a teenage Zara stood at a podium before beings from 1,000 worlds. The quantum cube, now integrated into a grand network of harmony generators, pulsed softly in her hands. Behind her, Neurox's starlight mane shimmered with pride. The mathematics of the universe, she addressed the gathered crowd, are not cold equations, but the poetry of existence itself. When we learn to read this poetry together, there is no force in the galaxy that can divide us. The commander Varax, who had served his sentence and found his own path to redemption, sat in the audience. His cybernetic eye, once modified for targeting enemies, now helped him see the quantum harmonies that filled the space between stars. As Zara finished her speech, every cosmic entity in attendance released a pulse of energy that rippled across the galaxy. On countless worlds, beings looked up at their skies and saw the aurora of unity, a reminder that in the end, love and understanding could be expressed through the perfect language of mathematics, bridging the gap between all forms of consciousness. The quantum cube, its purpose finally fulfilled, dissolved into pure energy, becoming one with the cosmic symphony it had helped create. But its legacy lived on in every calculation, every connection, and every moment of harmony between the stars. For in the end, the greatest power in the universe wasn't control or dominance, but the simple truth that a child had discovered: when you speak the language of creation with love, the entire cosmos answers in kind.